To relational practice, relationships might break down at some point. So when relationships break down, people might have been harmed or affected. There are obligations that people might need to fix that relationship if they've been the one to cause some of that harm. So within it, we talk about a very simple but really helpful set of questions to use. And we talk about 3 bubbles. We talk about the first bubble is all about what happened, but we believe there's always more than one perspective. In fact, I always say there's 3 truths: my truth, your truth, and the truth. So there might be more than one perspective. So the first set of questions is exploring what's happened from each other's perspective. The second question is exploring people's thoughts, and the third question is exploring people's feelings. So those 3 questions are: what happened, what were you thinking, and what were you feeling? But we want to put them on a timeline. So what was going on before, what was happening after that, and then what were your thoughts at the time, what were your thoughts when that was happening, and what were your thoughts afterward, and the same for the feeling questions. The important bit if there's a number of people in conflict is that everybody gets an opportunity to share their unique perspective. One question we want people to drop is the why question. The why question tends to blame people, and also it's a high functioning question. Not many people can comprehend why they've done something. So we'd encourage you to replace it with a what question. The second bubble along is what's the impact on people and relationships? Because I think when things go wrong, we tend to ask what's happened to gather facts. We then want to see who's to blame. The third step, what rules being broken? And the fourth step is what punishment fits the rule breaking. Well, I just think punishment creates resentment rather than reflection. Whereas that second bubble wants to explore who's being affected and how. If you drop a pebble in the pond, the ripples go out much further. So what's the impact on people and relationships? But the third bubble along about what needs to happen next, or what needs to happen to move things forward, or what needs to come out of today's meeting for people to start to feel better, that puts a greater emphasis on the future rather than the past. A bigger focus on what needs to happen to move forward, in other words, solutions, rather than focusing on the problem. Because I think traditional systems create an opportunity where we admire the problem. In restorative and relational based practice, we want to put a greater emphasis on moving things to the future. In other words, meeting people's needs and coming up with a plan to address those needs. So it's a really nice, simple structure, which really, to summarize, focuses on just 5 questions. What happened? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Who's being affected and how? And what needs to happen next to start to move things forward.